So Captain America Civil War is a thing. And what do we think about it? It's freaking amazing!
I'm sorry. I think you mean the Avengers 2 we all wanted.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So we are the Renegades, and this is a bit of a reaction / review to Captain America.
/ fanboying like crazy.
Oh, man.
Well, anyway, this is a review / reaction to Captain America Civil War. Featuring your friendly neighborhood Renegades, Nate,
Bo,
Ben,
Micah.
And, okay. We're going to try and keep this spoiler free. If there are spoilers, I will edit them out, because sometimes we just can't control ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens, but I feel like you're going to catch these if we
yeah.
So
thankfully, we're not live streaming. Or are we?
Sweet, merciful heavens, please no.
Tony Stark
make
dies.
sure we're not.
Wait, so we're not?
We are not.
We're not
live streaming.
We're not giving out spoilers?
Okay. No spoilers.
I was going to say, if anything, we can do a spoiler cast and be like, okay, you are here at your own risk.
No,
Okay, yeah.
I don't like it.
You don't want to do that?
I don't like it.
Okay.
No.
I don't
Alright.
see how we can talk about it extensively without giving spoilers.
To quote Chris Evans himself, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like
Why
it.
don't we just take all the spoiler bits and put in other words in place of the spoiler words?
Or just,
like Chihuahua in place of all the times that we say Tony Stark died.
Or it can be
stop saying that. It's not true.
Or it can be like air horn and or like an air horn or a Wilhelm scream. Or
guys,
Dude, that'd be sick.
We're trying to record a video
yeah,
here.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so guys, we just got back from our local theater watching the.
And I'm gonna date this. It is. Wait, what is today? Crap.
Right there on the screen.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Your plans are
May
foiled.
6th at just about 10:40 p.m.
Yeah.
All of you are planning.
And
Look
now,
at where it is now.
Now,
you are within melee range.
now the future
You best
United
shut
States
up.
government's
That is
going to know where I'm at, so they can come back and kill me with like Terminator robots.
So
Thanks, Ben.
we just got done watching it. Awesome movie.
Oh.
That's an understatement.
Oh.
But first off, before we get into this, we want to say thank you to Venom Zero for your contributions. I mean, you donated to us, and you specifically stated use this for going to see Captain America: Civil War,
And we did.
Your wishes have been granted, my friend.
Sweet merciful heavens, that movie.
Yes, it was something tremendous.
Absolutely brilliant.
Okay. Now, I get the feeling we can talk about some things without going into spoilers. Like, we can talk about, what we thought of the story without giving it away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's one thing I liked about the story. It did not lag for a second.
No, it's true.
There was never a
It's
second
true.
where I was like, okay, when's Cap coming back or when's Iron Man coming back?
There was never a dead moment in that film.
No, there wasn't. I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was looking either, because I went into this with the highest expectations. And my expectations were not only met in almost every way, but exceeded in a lot of them as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, first off, Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
I wasn't sure how to
yeah.
feel about it going in. I love it.
Nailed
I love it.
I do too. I cannot freaking
Dude,
wait.
man.
I mean, it gets
Cannot freaking wait to see him in more.
it gets that nerdy, sarcastic Spider-Man feel.
Yeah.
And let's be fair. He's fanboying the entire time.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
yes.
like,
As I think we all would be.
I'm
if we
in
were
the big
fighting,
leagues now.
If we were
holy
involved
crap,
in that.
holy crap, holy crap. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's
And
like we're
it's
living
so
vicariously through him.
Yeah.
as a
And
character.
the juggling of all the characters, you'd think that a few of them would get lost in all this. Like, you'd forget about Ant-Man being there.
Yep.
No. You'd forget about Spider-Man being there. No.
Nope.
You'd forget about Rhodes being in there. No. You'd
No.
forget about Scarlet Witch, Vision. You'd forget about all of them.
No.
But no, each of them had their time, and it was paced so perfectly. I felt like there was nothing else they could have done to balance the film out between everybody.
Yeah,
I think that was the strongest part.
Nobody felt like they were just sort of jammed in there.
Yeah.
Everything felt
Yeah.
natural. It
so
felt
true.
right. It was
Yes.
excellent.
Nothing was
Yeah,
forced.
they
And I
all
like
had-
Nothing was forced.
Yeah, absolutely. They all had great lines. They all had great bit parts.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
in the
all
movie.
right, all right. So
They
here's one
all
thing I
had
got to
it.
say about the writing. There's comedy in that movie.
Yes.
And
genuine comedy.
quality, Marvel style comedy, almost like what you saw in the first Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that kind of
It was
comedy. It's like,
it kind of felt like a beckoning back to that in some ways.
oh yeah,
Except whereas Avengers was balancing, let's see, 6 heroes all together.
yeah. This
balanced out 12.
12.
Yeah.
12.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
honestly, the big fight showdown that happens pretty much like at the beginning of the third act of the film.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a monstrosity of
Oh.
amazingness.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Absolutely.
thing is, like,
Nothing. I mean, everyone that was there contributed in their own part.
Oh, yeah.
and made their stamp. I mean, honestly, they made their mark.
Yeah.
in that battle.
Absolutely.
And you feel as though, you feel as though you're. For me, it was like I was watching Saturday morning cartoons again, and I was seeing like my favorite heroes take on the bad guys,
Yeah.
except they were fighting each other.
with better choreography.
Much
Oh,
better
yeah.
choreography
Oh,
and amazing
man.
effects.
That's
The
so
effects as
cool,
well. Top of the nut.
Oh,
top notch.
man.
Totally.
Cannot express
It's
enough.
so
And-
cool too that like each one like they paired them up in different ways.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like okay, like
I
Captain
mean,
America
you weren't
fights this person.
sitting here going, oh, Vision's gonna fight Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
Iron
yeah.
Man's gonna fight.
It
Cap,
wasn't predetermined.
Yeah.
They all had like mix-ups.
Oh
throughout the
yeah,
whole
they
entire
traded
time.
off rapidly,
Yes.
and
And you got to see their personalities mesh, and not just them
and
fighting.
that's
you know?
another thing. Even changing writing crews and such,
Yeah. Change. Yeah.
that no character at any time felt like they had changed.
Mhm. They didn't break
I
character.
mean, the characters had evolved, but in
They
a
grew.
natural manner, in a manner that you would expect.
Yeah.
At no point did I find any of them to be off character.
They were spot on. They were
It
spot on the whole
was-
time.
Beautiful.
It was. I mean,
Yeah. And even though it was a Captain America movie, everybody
Yeah.
got their fair share, man.
yeah,
Oh,
and-
yeah.
and which a lot of people think, that there's so many things in this that it bogs down the story enough to where Captain America could get drowned out. No, the primary focus
absolutely
was still
not.
on Steve
Yeah.
Rogers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is his movie, and you know it because he's pretty much on screen all the time. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a few points where there's a little interlude going here and there and showing upcoming conflicts or something like that, or the after effects of a battle that has happened. But overall, the focus is always on Steve Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
as it should be.
Yeah, him and Bucky are
Yeah.
kind of like the central point of the film,
Which is excellent.
and the heart of the film, really.
oh,
Yeah.
man.
But you just have all this other awesome stuff
Okay.
like
Oh,
just
man,
jammed in
it's
there as well.
beautiful.
It's just
Okay,
incredible.
we've
It's so
been
incredible.
pretty vocal, but
Yeah.
back there,
Micah, what do you got?
right there-
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are fine. I don't really know what to say without like just ruining anything.
Okay,
I can
okay.
you can definitely comment on the emotional complexity because I mean to
Oh, yeah.
basically divide a house against itself is
That's-
not terribly easy. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to take shots at any other movies, but Thor, for example, I love the place setting. I love the references to mythology. Very straightforward movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even with the trickster like Loki, you pretty much know what's going to happen. But I mean, this movie, the depth to it is
Phenomenal.
extreme.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
just
yeah,
It was really heavy.
And I'm
really heavy.
going to go ahead and say this. I now have the utmost faith in Avengers Infinity War
I
absolutely.
do as well.
and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Well, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, boy.
that's a whole thing because where it is being co-produced with Marvel Studios and Sony. I mean, Sony they've had to lick their wounds here in the last year or so because their big leak and plus also the non-release of the interview, which
Yep.
which was seen as an
Yeah.
embarrassment for them because of all that happened. But out of that, you have to look at the bright side because we got Spider-Man in this movie because there
And-
was talk of Spider-Man and Iron Man not being in this.
Yeah,
in
and-
the earlier drafts.
All right, now
Yep.
if you're worried that Spider-Man just shows up and makes a little cameo and then disappears, no,
No.
do not be worried. He's in there,
Well,
and he's in there
I was
for a
going to
good
say
bit.
here's one thing that I've seen them do with these it's one thing that I'm seeing them do with these Marvel films as they go along. They introduce the new characters in other films, and thus, in some ways, it replaces the need of an origin story because we're seeing them in this, and we are getting a feel for their character before we even see them in their own film.
Yeah.
It's an introduction, and it's just like Black Panther in this film.
Oh man, Black Panther.
Panther.
Yeah,
was
played,
sick.
played wonderfully by Chadwick Boseman.
Dude, man, his voice. Oh, my
he
god.
had the accent down. He had
It's
that West
so
African
cool.
accent down. Perfect.
Dude, he can say anything to me, and I just melt.
That
Oh
my father was a
gosh.
good man.
He was a good man.
that whole bit was brilliant. Like, it feels like they could have just sort of stuck him in there and
They
just
could
been
have.
like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, Black Panther's in here now. No. It felt organic.
Because
Like,
he
his
was
introduction
Yeah.
was very organic, did not feel forced at all. It made sense for him to be in there.
Well, I mean, he was literally chasing the plot along in the movie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You're not
it's, because,
wrong.
it's because the story involved him.
Oh,
it
yeah.
did not have to drag him in. He was part of it, and he was happy to be part of it because he was fighting for something.
And
Yeah.
not to mention, it also didn't feel, he felt organic because he grew as a character in the course of the movie.
Sure.
yeah.
And can we talk about the guy's performance too? I mean, I
Oh,
felt like
man.
he nailed every single line, and he had that
And the
just sense
physicality.
of
Oh, yeah.
badass. He
Oh,
was the
yeah.
most badass
Yeah,
thing.
Chadwick Boseman.
I swear, man.
I've been a fan of his ever since I saw him in 42, the Jackie Robinson
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
And he was
okay.
also portrayed James Brown in Get On Up, which he did
Nice.
tremendous as James Brown. And for him to just dive into a character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is-
When he dives into a character, he becomes that character.
he means it.
I mean,
He really
and
does.
you can see it, you can feel it, because for him to become T'Challa, Black Panther, it was something to behold, because
Oh, yeah.
this character had a majesty to him and a magnitude to
That's
him
exactly
that
what
you
I'd
could
say, yeah.
feel. He exuded as though he was royal and he was worthy of it.
Yeah, he
You
had
can
that
tell when a king-
gravitas,
it's just like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. He does not deserve to sit on the throne because he is a
little bitch.
He is for lack of a better
He's a
term,
proper little chungus, is
a-
what he is.
a non-deserving
Well put.
bastard. Now, to be formal with it.
That's putting it nicely.
So that's okay. So
Well, all
anyway,
right. One thing I do have to
ahead.
point out, though, before we move on from Black Panther.
yeah.
Props to the audio guy for the little touches with Black Panther, or the lack thereof.
I get
It was perfect.
Yeah, I think what he's referencing is the little hits whenever Black Panther came in the score. And
No,
also with
that
his
is
movement.
not what I'm talking.
And
What I'm
also
talking
his
about is with
movement.
his movement.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can say this without spoiling too much of the movie. So when Black Panther lands in a scene, there is no sound.
There's little.
He
to no
makes
sound.
no sound,
Silent but deadly.
and that
Like a panther.
I hate you, Bo. Why did I miss you? It was perfect. It fit perfectly.
Okay, well,
Oh, yeah.
I get you with that. Okay,
Yeah.
For me, everything about this film clicked. The score, the music that accompanied every
perfect.
scene, it was
Ooh,
really
yeah.
good, and the characters had their own little accents in the music that you could hear. Like you could hear Tony Stark's theme from when he was in Iron Man.
Yeah, a
You could
little
hear-
bit,
you
little
could hear,
bit.
it was like all the themes mixed together, and whenever they were all fighting. And when they were all fighting, you could actually hear them in there as well.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Sort
while-
of clashing within
yes,
the
they-
score. Yeah.
and,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and that worked so well.
Oh, man.
And okay, and last thing I'm going to mention on Black Panther.
All right.
Upcoming for upcoming events with Black Panther, I am of course speaking about the Black Panther solo film
I'm also ridiculously hyped for that.
because the director that they got, I was worried that they were going to get I believe F. Gary Gray who recently directed the Straight Outta Compton movie,
interesting.
but. I heard that and I was thinking, okay, it can be either one way or the other.
Yeah.
But then I saw who they got. They got Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler is a tremendous not only director but also a really good writer. He did Fruitville Station, which is really good. And
I
then
see.
then he also did Creed, the
Oh, yeah.
continuation of the Rocky franchise,
Yeah.
with Adonis
Nice.
Creed, with Michael B. Jordan playing Adonis Creed.
Okay.
And now that he is in the driver's seat, in the director's chair for the Black Panther film, if anything, I am more than ecstatic.
man.
Yeah, why didn't you say that in the first place, man? Holy crap, that's sick.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
because
Fruitvale Station? Oh.
no, that's a great
That's
film.
dope,
I
man.
love that film.
Yeah, it's so
and
underrated,
It
man.
has a lot of good stuff about it, but the fact that Ryan Coogler is in control of that film gives me nothing but faith that they are going to do that. Marvel is taking it seriously.
Yeah.
When it comes to their properties, that's just like Disney. Well, Disney is in a lot of ways because Disney is in the midst of, I believe, a second renaissance because
Yeah.
They're looking good, man.
not just in terms of animated, but in live action as well.
Yeah.
Because here recently, they just released the Jungle Book movie, and
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Is it good?
Oh,
very good.
In some ways, I think that movie,
better
that
than-
movie is easily as good as, and in some ways better than the animated movie.
Better than Bare Necessities?
Okay,
oh
no,
my gosh, really?
it's in there.
It's in there?
It's in
You
there.
shit me.
King
No.
Louis does his song.
Dude, that's my two favorite songs.
Okay, so
Oh my
here,
God,
like they
this is so
actually
sick.
took little cues from the animated movie. So
Yeah.
do you remember how Kaz's eyes worked in the animated movie?
Yeah, they were like all like twirly and stuff.
They do that in the live action, and it's subtle, but it's there, and it's beautiful.
Dude,
Yes.
man, that's like a tribute almost.
And
to
here's the
everything.
thing, like Bill Murray, perfect.
Of course.
Christopher Walken
Oh my God.
was
Louis.
amazing.
Who's he?
King Louis.
Real? Oh,
Christopher
God,
Walken
that's
as King
it.
Louis.
It's
Done.
the
Okay.
best.
Done.
So
Sorry,
watch it.
we're-
I
No,
gotta
no,
watch
no,
it.
no. It's okay. It's okay.
This just in: minor Jungle Book spoilers in the Captain America Civil
No,
War
there were-
review.
no,
We'll
really
slap
no
that on
spoilers,
there,
no
too.
spoilers
Oh, I
either.
didn't spoil anything.
No, we didn't no spoilers. Okay, we have a moderator back here to keep us
Just in case
check
we get
with
off
spoilers.
too far off the
If
deep
we get
end
too
there.
far off topic, or if we get
Oh.
to spoilers, she's back there with her horn to let us know.
Yeah, we
there's-
covered-
I don't know if you could hear the air horn, but
Yeah, it was back there though.
Yeah,
It was
so
it was heard.
we probably can, but
So
they probably will be able to.
So
Yeah.
we talked
Anyway,
about Black Panther.
Yeah.
Let's do Spider-Man now.
Okay, Spider-Man.
Yes.
Portrayed by Tom Holland. I was at first unsure about how Tom Holland was going to portray him.
yeah, I was worried, but,
But-
it's
Yeah.
it's good.
Well,
it's real
it's
good.
really
When
excellent.
I saw how seriously he was taking the role, when I saw the training that he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
he was in these gymnastic houses and he was doing work. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, honestly, working on the flips, working on his landings
Yeah.
to seem more like
Yeah.
Spider-Man, working on his movements
Yeah.
to fight more like Spider-Man.
Punching in
he
that
took
card,
he
man.
took lesson I think he took advice from Andrew Garfield when it came to how to portray it, because Andrew Garfield, how he fought in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, I thought was a lot closer to how he fought in the comics
Yeah.
than it was portrayed by Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, he listened to
And-
to him for the fight scenes and Tobey Maguire for the baby face.
Well, that's more akin to Tom Holland actually being a very young kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's-
he looked so young in that,
Well, it's
especially
because he
compared to
is.
everybody else.
It's
you know?
because he is. He's actually, I think, 19.
Yeah.
Really?
And he's the
Oh
youngest
my
person to
gosh.
portray Spider. I mean, honestly, Andrew Garfield was 30 when he took the role.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that shows you
That's
right
so
there.
true.
Yeah.
But
He's like ageless.
well, he is ageless. I mean,
That's true.
He
That's true,
ages.
too.
He ages really well, and some people are like that. But Tom Holland's thing that I felt had going for it, he had an innocence to him because you felt like this was Spider-Man at his beginning.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And they're not going to tell the origin story. They're not going to retell the origin
Yeah,
story because
and-
there's no need to.
And they didn't like. They could have had him retell it, and instead, he's just like, it's
Yeah,
a
they just-
long story.
they just
Yeah.
sweep it under the rug,
which
which is good.
Well, they don't
It's
sweep it
good.
under
they,
the rug.
but they handled that well. Like they handled not covering it well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought.
They know that it's not his story. Not
Well,
this time.
they know that just about everybody knows the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, it's not necessary.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, they've had two really popular origin story movies.
Yeah.
There's no need to tell it a third time in a completely different film.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
anyway, Tom Holland worked tremendously as Spider-Man. I cannot wait to see how Homecoming is going to look.
Oh man,
And
But the scene where they introduce him in the movie, one of the best scenes in the whole thing.
it was
Yes.
quite good.
So
I was going to
good.
say
Quite
it was a
good.
bit misleading because I was going to say because this was a point in the film. It was the gathering of pretty much the gathering of the chess pieces.
Yep, getting the bands together.
Yeah, and it came to it cuts away, and you're like, what are they doing here? And then all of a sudden, the little pieces start to fall, and you're like, wait a second.
Like I knew exactly what was happening. I'm
was-
just like,
I was caught.
this
I
is
was
gonna
caught
be
a little
good.
bit. I was caught a little bit off guard, and then when I hear someone say something, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's
hint at it.
it's
They give you a
so
little
this
snippet.
Is it. So this
Oh
is
my
it.
gosh.
And
It's like, I know this guy in like
Yeah.
Queens or something. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
yeah. Oh man,
Oh my gosh.
it was
Just,
it was handled so well.
and
Yeah,
the
and he was just a kid, you
Yeah,
know?
he was. He literally-
and
and
he
that
was
was so
like a
great.
And he was fanboying
Exactly.
so hard.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and oh man, so awesome.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of fanboying so hard, if we're ready to move on from Spider-Man,
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man.
Yes,
Ant-Man.
Fanboying so hard.
Yes.
So good.
Okay,
Oh my
we
gosh.
cannot share some of the details when it comes to what happens with Ant-Man in this film, but we can't.
It's
but I
crazy.
can't say this. But
It's
I can say this. I
awesome.
can't say this.
was sick.
Scott Lang, portrayed by Paul Rudd, I did not expect it to work in the Ant-Man solo film, but he works in that part so well.
Yeah.
and and
Who knew?
And his chemistry working with the others is really good as well. I mean, honestly, there's parts where they're working together, and you feel like this chemistry works. This
Yeah.
chemistry is that the chemistry works because they're figuring each other out still.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, they know what each other's capable of.
Yeah, and how their powers work in the choreography and how they fight each other was
Yeah.
used to
They
such
make
great
it work
effect.
so well.
Yes.
And he pulls out some new tricks.
Yeah, yes, he does.
Like
Yes.
there's
Wink,
one in
wink.
particular. It's not the one you're thinking of.
Okay, go ahead.
You're talking about him and Arrow guy?
No, I'm not even thinking of that.
Not even
one.
that one.
Hawkeye, come on, man.
There's
He calls him
layers.
Arrow guy.
He does
in-
call him
Sorry,
Arrow guy,
spoiler.
but no. The first one, that was sick.
Ah.
That one, that was good. That one's really good. Like the later one's also really good, but I saw that one. I'm like,
Yep.
all right, he's got tricks.
This
He's got
guy.
tricks. I like it.
I like this kid
And
over
a,
here.
a lot of the dialogue amounts to them saying, so there's this guy that can do stuff. What do I do about it?
Yep.
Yeah.
and they're figuring it out. And that's what's supposed to happen in these kind of fights.
And it's
it's
just like,
not supposed to
we
be.
we haven't had any time to rehearse. Well, we're doing it live.
Yeah, that's,
F it,
and
we'll
it
do
felt
it
like
live.
it felt like a knockdown drag out fight between people. There were people who knew each other,
Right.
And then there were people who didn't, and the people who didn't, they had trouble, but then they adapted.
Yeah.
and
in some ways, they got to play the surprise card, and so they were
yes,
a lot more effective than they might have been if they'd seen it coming.
yes.
Oh yeah, and it's so fun too because like some of the scenes are built up like some of the heroes they introduce. It's like this huge like scene where it's built up and it zooms in on them. But then some they just like open the door and they're there.
Oh yeah,
And it's just
Yeah.
like what?
And it's just like
So that flips your wig
it's like,
even
where-
more.
what am I doing?
Just like out of nowhere, Ant-Man.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
man.
so
that. Oh,
Oh,
man, that
so good.
whole and
Oh,
I have to. There are two things that I want to talk about.
go ahead.
One being the trailer for the movie.
Okay.
That trailer, now having seen the full movie, that trailer was so well constructed.
Yeah.
Nice.
It didn't give anything away, and it gave
And
you.
in fact, it gave you false leads.
Oh yeah. That is it gave you-
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
get
that,
that.
I thought that was beautiful. Like you'll see what I mean when you go and see the movie.
You'll
there are
appreciate it.
certain things in the trailer, and you'll see them coming, and then you go, "Wait, it's good. It's really well done."
You
That trailer,
appreciate them.
that trailer gets you hype, but it doesn't tell you as much as you think it does.
Yeah, you appreciate it more. You appreciate.
man.
I've talked about this at great length. Some movie trailers give so much away. They pretty much give away either entire movies or surprises that, if you would not have known, would have catapulted the film into into the stratosphere with how good it was. Case in point, How to
well,
Train Your Dragon 2.
I'm sorry. Batman versus Superman called "It's a Little Bit Hurt" by your
Ouch.
statements.
Ouch.
Too
Okay,
soon.
okay,
Too
yeah.
soon.
Not soon enough.
No, not soon enough.
I've been saying that since we watched the trailer.
Yeah, but How to Train Your
so
Dragon
good.
2 had such a spoiler in its trailer that when I saw it, I immediately just closed my laptop and
It's
I'm just
like,
like,
nope.
you guys
No.
just killed a whole big plot line.
Yeah,
you
big
killed
reveal.
it.
Yeah.
You didn't even let us attempt to figure it out for ourselves. You kill it before we even have a chance.
Yeah.
And I love that film. I love How to Train Your Dragon 2. And I think it's just as good, if not better, than the first one.
Yeah.
But the fact that that was there, and I knew that going in, it was just like it was wasting my time with the teases. And
They gave you the twist of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's
It
a
just,
huge
it just
problem.
shows you
versus
Yeah.
Captain
Yeah.
America: Civil War, which gave you nothing.
just shows
Yeah.
you there's
Gave
such
you-
I mean,
nothing.
It,
It gave you-
it gave you little touches. It gave you the general premise,
Little
but
snippets.
what you think you see, you don't see the whole picture,
Yeah.
and that's great.
yeah. There's just such like an art to like making a good trailer. Too,
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
And that
in
just
some
shows it.
places, in some places, what you don't show is much more important than what you do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
and in this case, what they didn't show made the film more interesting.
Yeah. It's like they have restraint in just the perfect
Yes.
places.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, you want to give your fans all the fan service.
Yeah.
and
Dude,
there's-
I would make
You
such a
want-
bad
You
trailer.
want to
you know?
bring the hype.
You want
Yeah.
to. You want to up the hype without giving anything away.
See,
That's what
see,
you need.
Yeah, see, that's what I would be like a terrible trailer maker because I'd like show them the whole movie because I want them to like see it all. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
want to give your fans everything.
but you can't do that. You
No,
know,
you
just
have to practice the theatrics of tease and practice practice patience. You
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, don't test your don't run your audience's patience into the ground, Valve.
Oh,
shots.
cold as
Don't
ice.
Yeah, don't run your audience's patience into the ground, but instead you give them hints, you give them teases to let them try and figure it out for themselves. And sometimes when they do figure it out, they're rewarding themselves because it's just like, oh my gosh, I was right. It's just
Yeah.
like something happens in this film
Yeah.
that I actually called when we watched one of the trailers, and I was just like, that may be what causes this, and lo and behold, it happens, and I'm like,
Boom.
yes, I called it, and it's just it
Yeah.
provides you that much more, and you didn't have to have it
Yeah.
spoon fed to you by the trailer.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, I figured this out for myself. What else did I get
Yeah,
right,
you have
or
that
what did I get
interaction.
wrong?
Oh,
Yeah.
there was some stuff we got really wrong,
Dead wrong, son.
Yeah. Yes.
and I'm actually really happy about that.
I am
Yeah,
as well.
I love being wrong.
It made
it's
it
so awesome.
much more interesting knowing what actually happened than what we guessed.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
Sick,
d-
man.
don't go into this movie expecting everybody to walk out of it happy.
No, that's true with every film.
Yeah, but I mean, in seriousness, brace yourself.
We're fanboying and we're gushing about this because
Oh,
we
man.
loved it, and to me it met all my expectations and then some. But not everyone is going to like this. I know that I mean, honestly, even this
Yeah. I don't
film's,
know- I don't
even
know
this
how they
film's
couldn't,
gotten bad.
you know?
Even this film's gotten bad reviews on I've seen on Rotten Tomatoes. There's like out of 200 views, like I think 10 of them, I think 10 or 12 of them are like bad, and that's it. But still,
Yeah, so it's pretty up there.
but,
Yeah.
but still, that's 10 or 12 people out of a base of 200, and overall, people are still going to like. A lot of people still like this film.
yeah, I
It's
think
not
that's a
gonna-
good
it's-
batting average for sure.
I mean, yeah.
I was gonna say 300. I mean, honestly, most people who play baseball, most
I
people.
mean, you're
who go
lucky to bat 500.
No, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky to bat 300. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, Mickey Mouse, one of the greatest of all time, finished under 300.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, most
You heard it
people-
here.
most
Civil
people-
War better than Mickey Mantle.
Oh wow.
Also,
Oh.
I think that averages out as better than getting elected president.
Yeah, that's true. And,
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Well, this film just had everything in it. It had all the right pieces, all the right places, all the right set pieces. I mean, they're
Well,
really.
They were
The
all-
most important one is the other point I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
How about that Stan Lee cameo?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I did not expect
another
that.
great one.
Did not expect that.
Perfect.
I was going to say I had forgotten about the Stanley
Yeah,
cameo.
yeah.
I forgot about the obligatory Stanley
Like
cameo.
I was braced for it the entire time. I'm like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because it'll happen early in some movies. It'll happen late
Late.
in some movies. This one, spot on.
This okay.
Yeah.
My favorite one is from the first Amazing Spider-Man. That's my That's my favorite.
That's
Yeah,
the best one.
librarian.
That's the best one.
Yeah, that
It
one
really
that was my
Um,
favorite.
I was
But-
a big fan of the ones from the first Iron Man.
Yeah,
the
that
one
one
from the
was
first Iron Man, the one from the first Avengers,
Yeah.
and Deadpool.
Superheroes.
Of course,
Yeah.
Deadpool. Yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Deadpool-
one was good.
That Deadpool one was good. But
They just let him have it on that
but
one.
this one in the
Man.
placement that where it was pitch perfect.
Yeah.
Just like Ben said.
And it actually it sort of added something. I thought.
yeah.
Like honestly, the scene where it takes place, I don't think would have been the same without the Stanley cameo.
No, it was.
It lifted a lot of
really
the
did.
darkness in the
It
film
did.
up
It
to that
lifted
point.
a lot of tension where you would
Yes.
have walked down there and went, "Man, I don't know. Man, I don't know."
Yeah,
Yeah, no. Stanley comes in and he's like,
yeah.
Relax, guys, I got this.
All that stuff, that tension just built
Yeah,
up.
it-
It's like,
"Relax, true believers."
It's like
Yeah.
it's like Papa Stan's here to
Yeah.
save you from the darkness.
Yeah.
It's
Here.
Like really
There's a
really
comic book,
bring the mood up, and he does
Superheroes
with just being there, you know.
in New York.
Excelsior.
Yeah.
In New
He has
York.
that power.
I don't think I don't
don't
think
think
so. Yeah. Just
Our,
Oh
so
my gosh.
gosh.
Yeah, it was sick. It was
That was-
absolutely
that
sick,
was
man.
it was the hypest.
that was a heck of a film.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. Lots
So-
of fun.
Guys.
Especially like once they all get together, then it's
Oh,
just magic.
man.
I was
It's
gonna say I
magic.
feel like well, since this is a review, and I think sort of the whole thing that the way to sum it up. How do you want to go about a rating system? I mean, do you want to go like a letter grade rating system, or do you want to go like one like 10 out of like a 10 plus like a 10, like a
Letter
10?
grade system I think works
Bananas.
best.
Letter grade system. Okay, and I was going to say each of us can give our own individual.
Right, yeah.
I was going to say for me, I can't help but give this film an A plus. I had so much fun during this film.
Yeah.
Captain
Yeah.
America: Civil War, I give an A plus. I if I could give a higher grade, it'd probably cause like a singularity event and like kill everybody. So no.
Which would still be worth it.
I was gonna say it's like Chuck Norris dividing by zero. He doesn't do it because he knows it will kill everybody. Okay,
Yeah.
so for me, A plus.
Bo, what do you got?
For me, like it was a truly like an amazing experience, and the theater was full. Like see it right now.
Yeah, like we saw
Yes.
it not the night of the premiere, but the night after, and
Yeah.
the theater was packed out.
Yeah, we saw it the day it's actually supposed to come out, but
Yeah.
there are early previews on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's important. Like
Yeah.
just to have
See
that
it with
like
people.
because you're seeing it with the fans. You know, you're seeing
Oh,
it with
yeah.
like your former your fellow fans.
Like
and
2/3 of the
it's amazing.
people in there were wearing a shirt from a fandom of some kind. Like I saw DC fandom shirts, I saw Marvel I saw all manner of shirts. Like I saw a lot of Captain America shirts.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you that right now.
And then all the DC fans were like, "Why couldn't our movie have been like this?"
He's not wrong.
They were in the corner crying.
Shots.
He's
Shots
he's
fired.
not
This is
wrong.
Well
what
deserved.
this is what pacing feels like.
Yeah. So Bo,
Like their eyes like melt as they see it.
Our moderator
Oh.
with the punch
Oh,
evening, ladies
call.
and gentlemen.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Called
Yeah,
out.
I'll have to bring the I may have to bring the audio up on that.
Absolutely.
Or if anything, I'll probably
Totally.
add that sound effect in.
yeah,
Oh my God.
but
That
Wow.
was perfect.
God.
man.
Yeah.
It was
Beautiful.
perfect.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no.
it was really good. Just the social experience of being there and people just like cheering and clapping when they see like characters that they know, and
oh
it's
man,
a great
yeah.
experience. The movie itself, fantastic. I thought it like was a little bit slow starting out. Like it was a little brooding starting out. Like they get a lot of sad stuff and like dark stuff happens within like the first 30 or 45 minutes, back to back. Like one sad thing happens, then another sad thing happens, and then
Yeah.
it just gets kind of like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I just want to
some
cry.
stuff, but
But I think they just wanted to get all that out of the way so they could get to the awesome stuff, because they just completely redeemed themselves, like with just
and
it's
even then,
amazing.
I don't think it was that. Like I don't think it was that much of a problem.
Yeah, it to me it didn't detract.
it wasn't too much. It was kind of like just a little thing, and then all this stuff in your face.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving it an A minus.
Okay.
A minus.
Okay.
Okay.
A minus. Okay.
All right. So Age of Ultron was Avengers 1.5.
Yeah.
This was Avengers 2.
This was the Avengers we deserved.
A plus.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Boom.
I'm giving it 5 out of 5 shiny Winter Soldier arms.
Always the rebel. Always the rebel.
Very
What?
nice. Very
Always
nice.
always.
Anyway,
That is
So-
that's pretty shiny.
yeah.
They were shiny.
I mean, that's a 4.0. That's a solid A.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
substitute a red star for the American flag.
Anyway. All right. So, yeah, overall, excellent.
I think hands down, best comic book movie ever made.
Wow. Okay.
yeah, and that's not the first time he said that. He said that 4 or 5 times on the way here.
I said it once.
Nice.
Yeah, you said it more than that. You said it more than that.
No, he said it once because he said it once, but
In the theater.
in multiple times,
Oh, yeah.
multiple different variations.
Anyway.
One thing I wanted to say, like real quick, is how awesomely they use the shield throughout the movie.
Oh,
Yeah. Like,
man.
The shield was everywhere.
Oh,
it was
man.
all over the place.
No, like there was a moment where I was like, all right, now you're just showing off. But I loved it.
yeah,
I'm just,
yeah, it's like
like,
decadence, but in the best way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was sick.
And-
it was so sick.
characters that you wouldn't expect to interact so well.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
just
so
out of nowhere.
oh, it's
It's
fascinating.
like, what if
I
those
love
two
it.
got together just in a scene? You know,
Yeah, it's just
like
like there's so many
Like,
bits
all the
there.
team ups. All the team ups were just,
Oh, yeah.
were
Yeah,
just brilliant.
just the interaction was great.
spoiler, the team ups with the shield, pretty much everybody. Everybody had a team up with the shield.
Yeah, so
I'm a shield
we're-
fanboy. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Yeah, so we aren't going to spoil. We did our best to try not to spoil anything.
and
If
I
there
don't
is
think
any-
we did.
No,
I don't
if
think
not
we
too
spoiled
much.
anything.
I'll listen. If there is anything, then I'll chop it.
Yeah.
But guys, all of our I highly recommend seeing this film, especially if you're a Marvel fan. But not even if you're not a Marvel fan, this film's standing alone.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
is an awesome film. I mean, if you want, honestly, if you want for me, like an ultimate climax to show somebody to get them into to comic book movies.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
It's hard to speak
Womp
at this
womp.
point. You know.
Anyway, sorry.
So
I've been watching Archer recently. I can't help it.
I have as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, guys,
So you
thank
want to annoy Nate because that's how you annoy Nate.
You want fists? 'Cause that's how you get fists. Just joking. Anyway, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. You heard from all of us. You know, we highly recommend this film. And hey, if you like what we're doing here and wish to see us do more of something like this, I mean, immediate reactions after seeing a certain film. I mean, it may not be all of us.
Yeah.
But you know, because of scheduling and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, if you wish to see more of this from us, let us know. We will go and we will tell you what we think. We will always give you our brutal, honest opinions, how we feel about the film. You know, we aren't going to sugarcoat anything. I mean, we're not sugarcoating. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
this
right,
is
man.
how we feel.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you all for tuning in so much. Once again, shout out to Venom Zero
Yep.
for the support and everything.
homie.
Thank you for that and everything. And next time, guys, we hope to see you again. Until next time, my name's Nate,
I'm Bo.
I'm Ben.
Micah?
and we will see you later. Peace out.